My best tip, I think, will be start. Like start messy, and that's from Think Media. I don't want to steal the credits, but that's actually true because I did more than 250 short videos right now on my YouTube, and when I look in the past 8 months, like if I had waited like until everything was perfect, I would have never done it.
Hey nerds, Monica here. Welcome to Nerd Nourishment's data podcast for nerds, where we get to talk to the coolest professionals and ask them all about how they're using data to solve the world's problems. We're highlighting the skills that are the most important for data professionals out there. So today with us, we have David Fortin. How are you doing today, David?
Hey, Monica, I'm pretty good. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Absolutely. I'm doing well. Yes. Thank you for coming on the show. So, we typically start off our show by understanding people's origin stories. We're all
Yeah,
nerds and we love to hear a good origin story. So, if you could
sure.
please let us know about your background and how you got to where you are today in your career.
Sure. What's up, everyone? Thank you so much once again for having me on the podcast. I'm Dave. I'm a CPA, chartered professional accountant. So basically, I'm from a very small town here in Quebec City. My main language is French. You can probably hear it with my beautiful accent. I speak French and English. And basically, I started do a technical accounting program in it's after high school here in Quebec. We have like different school versus the rest of the world. We like to be different, not only with the language, but with the school we go to. Then after that, I went to university in accounting. Then I did the CPA program, the CFE exam, and everything. And then I started working for a big four accounting firm where I had clients in construction, financial services. I'm a huge gamer. You can tell here. So I worked as well in video game businesses, which were my clients. So I was doing audit, so verifying that the numbers were accurate and stuff. To tell you the truth, though, at that time I was like 22 years old. I was not understanding much. Like I was doing my job, but I did not know anything about what I was looking at. Anyways, it was a great school, let's say. And then after PwC, I was like, okay, I don't want to live this life where I work like so many hours into like a really corporate, as you can tell, like I'm not really the corporate guy, let's say, but I know how to be professional, but I like to be myself and everything. So it's like, okay, let's go somewhere where it's like more myself, let's say. So I went working for Ubisoft, so huge video game company that makes Assassin's Creed, Rainbow Six Siege, do not name it. So I worked there for a few years into FP&A this time. So more into like making graphics, making data shine to the eyes of people that don't really like numbers, but they like shiny stuff. So that's where my career in FP&A started. And I'm 30 years old for the record. So after school at 23, went for PwC, then Ubisoft. Then I worked for Poka, which is a POKA, which is a startup in technology and is a SaaS, software as a service. To actually, I will explain it really quick into like it's a LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook merged into an app, and it is to digitalize the manufacturing world. So our biggest clients were like in food and beverages, companies that make cookies, a lot of beverages like Heineken and stuff like that. And basically, we were selling a license for this software as a service. And for me personally, I was taking care of the budget, all the making the PowerPoint for the board. We got 30 millions in financing as well, so that was one of my huge project. And we recently sold the company for more than, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that, but more than $200 million. So that's pretty huge, and that was really nice to participate like actively in this company selling, let's say. So that's kind of my career so far, and I can maybe tell you where I am right now. I actually left Polka. We sold the company, and I was like, it's time for new. new challenges, let's say it like that. And I've always been like, I love Excel. And when I was sharing screen with the VPs at my work, they were like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? What's going on?" And I was like, I, I don't know. Like, it's just I'm fast on the keyboard, and people are like, "Oh my God, you just saved me 10 hours by doing like a pivot table or a VLOOKUP." So I was like, "Oh, okay, I like videos, I like video editing. So let's try to launch a business, which is a YouTube channel right now, into like learning Microsoft Excel the fun way, kind of just like my inspiration is Miss Excel." So that's who I am.
That's amazing. So, you and I have something in common. I technically am also a CPA. I got my degree in accounting as well. But when I moved into auditing, I was more of that IT auditor instead of the
Hmm.
financial audit side. It was when I helped out the financial folks, is when I figured out about data analytics, and
Hmm.
testing things out with data. And so I find it fascinating, the overlap of accounting and data. What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. And that's funny because I had a meeting with a friend recently. He's in a project and everything, and he told me after the meeting, actually, you know what? You just changed my thought about accountants. I like it was like everyone else. Like I thought your job was boring, but when I and I'll speak about data here, but like when I showed him like what I could do with data and just actually make numbers speak. I don't really like to say that because it sounds like kind of not cringe, but like, oh, make data speak, make numbers speak. And I think that's where you have that as an accountant, that business minded, and like, okay, yes, it's a lot of numbers, and I often see like PowerPoints with a lot of data, a lot of numbers, but at the end of the day, you want that person that is not really data driven to understand what's going on. And as an accountant, that's my job, to make you understand what's going on, and that when you close a meeting, when you have something else to do, when your kids are crying, you remember that, okay, we saw 3 slides. If I have to remember 3 things, if you see thousands of data, you won't understand it. If you see 2 slides with 2 charts on it, you will probably remember what's the most important. So that I would say that's where, speaking of me, like really specific to me, that's where I bring value with data actually. But it's a lot more than that. Then you can go into data crunching and more backend, so you can, okay, why is there a spike here, and then you go deep into the thing, you drill down, and that's what's fascinating about it. Like you can, and in today's world, if I don't know if we talk about that later, but we have so much data. And I was talking with my friends yesterday about this, and we have so many tools that like it's really nice, because then you can get specialized. Okay, I'm a Tableau expert. Okay, I'm a Power BI expert. Okay, I'm a Microsoft Excel expert. So you can niche down into like being that data guy that is known for this specific thing, which is amazing because you need to. And I really like building relationships and talking to people. So that's where you can, everybody has their experience now, and like you need to get in touch with each other to get some help to understand which tool I can use and what I can do with my data. So that's nice. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. In the States, accountants are called bean counters. I don't know if that's the same with
Yeah. Oh
you,
my god,
right?
I always say that. I always say that in French. I'm like, oh, I'm Dave, the petit compteur de bin, and it means like the bean counter. I always say that. Always like,
Oh, that's funny. But really, we're more like storytellers.
yeah, trying, yeah.
Yes.
Hmm. That's true.
So, what are your favorite problems to solve using data?
That's a very great question, and I love to solve a lot of problems, even though like I say I'm an Excel guy and stuff. I mean, I love spending time in Excel, but what I love to is like actually telling the VP or the CEO of a company, like, okay, here's your business in like 2 slides. Like, I want to show you which are the most important problems that you need to solve based on data, like based on and multiple data, not only like a picture in time, like the best. And what I like to do normally is like do multiple charts. Okay, I'll do you a bar chart, I'll do you a pie chart. I hate pie charts. Like I never do pie charts, but like sometimes, and that's funny because I had a presentation yesterday and I felt like the person that was presenting me the data was like, oh my, I could have done this data so much better, like to tell a better story to the investors I have on the line right now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. What I like to do is actually, I don't know how to say that in English, but like shine light, like put some light on some events, like highlight stuff and saying, yeah, okay, this is this, but also add some qualitative, so some story behind it, because only numbers, if you don't add any words on it, doesn't mean anything. So I don't know if you want me to get like more specific, but that's pretty much what I like to do, like building a presentation and saying, here's the business, let's make it cleaner, less noise, less is more, let's do it like that. That's what I like pretty much.
Yeah. I want to get into more of what you're doing now with your YouTube channel.
Yeah. So basically, my one liner is, I still don't even know my one liner. It's like learn Excel the modern way, learn Excel the fun way. I'm not a typical accountant, like something like that. So my brand is called the Piggy Bank Accountant. The piggy bank is right here. I'm actually, and it comes from nowhere. Like it's a piggy bank that my mom made. Actually, she made it with her hand, and she like we have you can put money in there. Actually, there's a whatever, but that's the brand. And it comes from like my background in video gaming. The piggy bank, I didn't think about it that much, but I just felt it sounded cool, the Piggy Bank Accountant. So that's my YouTube brand, but I want it, for now it's like focused on Excel. So I want people, I would say people like my target audience, like people from 20 to 40 years old that wants to learn Excel but don't want to spend 8 hours on a very boring class. Like I want it to be entertaining, but they still use Excel in their day to day, like a lot of people. And I want to show them like quick tricks and like stuff that they can do to save a lot of hours and ultimately work less, because I feel like a lot of people work a lot because they don't think about their workflow. They don't think about how they do stuff. And at the end of the day, if you do this task 5 hours a week, maybe you can take 10 to 20 hours to revisit how you do this task. And it's going to become 1 hour a week or 2 hour a week. So at the end of the day, in 3 months from now, you have saved 20 hours, 30 hours, whatever. So that's the ultimate goal of my YouTube channel. The people that I'm making the video for, I still need to think about it. But basically, I want to make the best video on Microsoft Excel time after time, improve at every video, and I want it like for you to solve a problem. So that's pretty much what I do, and I want to bring my color, like who I am on camera, and make Excel fun because it sounds so boring. And yes, it is. I mean, I was in Excel classes a lot of time and was really boring. So that's my goal, short term, long term. Maybe I want to bring more of like not only Excel, but like how can you be productive using a lot of tools like Miro, Notion. How can you set up your workflows, automate stuff? Still in the basics of things, because I don't want to go into like macros and like scripts and everything. If I want to do a VBA macro, I ask ChatGPT. He's my best friend. Like I don't need to learn that. I can just, the AI can help me. So that's the target with the YouTube channel. Eventually, of course, make it a business, sell, like getting known with my discovery platform, aka YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever, and then ultimately sell um either live Excel class, or like deferred, I don't know, say that, like recorded classes. So that's where I'm going right now with the business. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have any stories that you can share? Best tip that saved the most hours?
On Excel?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So the best tip that saved hours, I think I have to admit that it's flash fill. I don't know if you know flash fill, like you just press on, like you type the first thing that you see, and then the first column and the second column. If it's all split by a space, let's say you want to split the first name and the last name, just put the first name, then the last name, then you press on Control E on your keyboard, and then Control E. And actually, I used it like for real last week. I had a friend that had a list of many addresses that he wanted to send to a company to do mass mailing. So like send letters, actual physical letter, not emails, to these people. So you had to split the first name, the last name, then the address, like being like the street number, the city, and the postal code, the zip code. Sorry, not postal code, zip code. So it was all blended in like one line, so one column. And the company that was doing the mass mailing was asking my friend, "Can you bring a list, but with these specific columns?" So I did it pretty much with like few Excel function, text function, like equal left or equal right, or and flash fill a lot. So I was doing it live when we were sharing screen. It was 3,000 lines. So I basically saved him a lot of, because he was doing it manually, like 100%, and he just had the reflex to call me, which is great. Like first clients are coming in, and I didn't even charge him for that. It was like, dude, like you're my friend, and like it's all good. But it was like flabbergasted. It was like, oh my god, I can't believe. But you would have spent 20 minutes in my YouTube channel, and you will have learned it. Maybe he has other things to do. That's fine. Maybe he's not my target audience. So that's some real use case that I did. I actually did this last Friday. So yeah.
Oh, nice. How much of the time did you have to spend actually cleaning the data so that it was like in a uniform format?
Yeah, that's a really great question, because I feel like a lot of time data hygiene is the issue. Like you don't have like specific thing that you can split your data based on. He had a pretty clean list, so that was a perfect textbook story.
Okay.
Like yeah, like he had two names in the first column, and they were all already split with like a comma. I was like, okay, easy, easy. So yeah, so I didn't spend much time on that. But yeah, it could have been worse. It was probably a perfect story in my case.
Yeah, exactly. You don't see that very often at
Hmm.
all.
Hmm. Yeah.
So while you're learning these new things to teach others, what are your go-to resources for learning?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I'm following, like, let's say I have three buckets, let's say. So the first one is like all making all of my videos and stuff. Like I'm not a video editor, I'm an accountant, and I'm far from a designer, but I have to do all of this. So for this, like how to build my setup, like my background is still messy, and sorry for the dead plant here. I need see my gardening skills are not really great as well. So that's how I do data hygiene as well. Like it's like my plants. The data is not really clean. Kidding. But so the first thing to know, like all my setup, my audio, visual, and all of that, I really rely on Think Media. They're really great. They also bring a lot of content creators on their podcast that have started a business from scratch or were teachers and they drop and now they have a YouTube channel. So I'm a really huge fan of YouTube. That's something that you need to know about me. So Think Media for this. For how to teach to people, I actually got hired by a school. So that's pretty cool because they can help me with like my techniques and like how do we make sure people remember. But I think I have also this personality that helps. Like, hey, here's Alt F1. So just to remember, and I'll put a big picture of like a F1, like the car and stuff. So like I just try to be like really creative. So I think my creativity helps people remembering stuff. So that's one thing. And I actually, the third one that I really get inspired from is Alex Ormozy for businesses. He's that big guy, as big as me. No, he's really like a gym guy. He's huge muscles and stuff. And I really relate with this guy because he launched Gym Launch. I think that's how he got famous. Let's say, like he's a real entrepreneur, and his motto is that he gives everything for free until you reach 1 million in profit, and then you can call him and say, hey, can you invest in my business? So that's his model. So I really I really resonate with him, with what he's saying, like the business strategy from what you start selling to like who you should sell to, from to should you put some paid ads, what's your product, what should you do. So that's probably, I would say, my three biggest inspiration right now. Of course, for the project itself, Miss Excel, 100%. That's why I started.
Do you have any recommendations for folks that want to share certain tips and tricks with others? And like, how do you come up with those ideas?
That's a really great question. So you mean like the process of like video ideation and stuff like that? I mean, my best tip, I think, will be start. Like start messy, like, and that's from Think Media. I don't want to steal the credits, but that's actually true, because I did more than 250 short videos right now on my YouTube. And when I look in the past 8 months, like if I had waited like until everything was perfect, I would have never done it. So look at what's out there, get inspired. Like Miss Excel is inspiring me, but I'm not dancing. I'm not dancing giving Excel tips. I'm doing it my own way. I mean, at the end of the day, all the Excel tips out there are pretty much not all the same, but you cannot, I mean, yes, you can do 3,000 videos, but like the cookie cutters, like flash fill, like auto adjust column size, like charts, like quick analysis, like all those, like pivot tables, conditional formatting, anyways, like all of these are like, there are there are tips, they exist. And but if you add your color to it, and if you try stuff, and if you people are going to follow, not for the Excel tips. I mean, yes, it brings value to them, so it's great, but there's 3,000 other people doing it out there. So if you just do the same thing, because Miss Excel will resonate with a bunch of people, but some people it won't resonate, and they will want to watch Dave or Monica instead, because they don't resonate with Miss Excel and they don't resonate with Dave. So I would say get out there, stop caring about what Rebecca from high school thinks. Uh, but that's true. Like, I think you need to don't care, but that's hard to do as well. But and never give up. Like, never give up. And I don't know if I'm still close to the question you asked me. Like, is that enough? Is that clear? Did I answer your question?
I think so, yeah.
Mhm.
Just I was curious how you came up with specific tips that you wanted to share, like how you get inspired by like, oh, today I'm going to talk about
Yeah.
flash fill.
So I get a lot inspired. Right now, it's a bit harder because I don't have a full-time job anymore, but I was trying to get inspired by actually my experience. So when I had a meeting with the VP marketing, by example, and she asked me, "Hey Dave, I have this Salesforce report and I want to calculate the dates between the start date and the end date of my marketing campaigns." But the data in Salesforce was like, it was not a date format. So I was like showing her, I was like, okay, you need to split your dates, okay, equal left, equal right, mid B, let's put it in a date format, and then days 360, calculate the difference of the days between. So I was like, okay, if she doesn't know, a lot of people don't know. It seems obvious to me because I've been doing Excel for 10 years. Let's make it a video. That's it. Like, don't overthink it. There is a need, like, and I see that's what I see sometimes. Like, if if you're overthinking, if people are not searching that, like you're looking for the best idea ever, but the best way to know if your idea is good is actually, was it done? Like, if you have some videos out there and they're like the business model is proven, then you can do it on your own spin. So I get inspired a lot by my experience. Sometimes I just go on a crazy, like, creative mind. I'm like, okay, I should do that. I think but another video I did earlier is, and I'm giving you example, like it's again this experience that I had. Is like, I have a financial advisor and he called me and was like, Dave, my system of how I track clients, I don't like my CRM. My CRM is like really bad. And he just told me how he was doing it. I was like, oh my God, dude, I can't believe you're doing it like that. Let's save you, and I'm not kidding, like 10 hours a month right now. And I just took, and I kept it simple because that's my motto as well. I want it to be simple. But he could have just looked my video and do it himself as well. But I did it for him. Um, is there other thing I get inspired a lot with and it's not really inspiration, but it's more like motivation. So when I'm not, like we all get here in Quebec, it's like dark at 4 p.m. and it's really cold right now, like -4 Fahrenheit and stuff. Like it's really cold. So sometimes you just don't want to get out of bed. And that's why I have a hat. Like I keep myself warm. Uh, and how I get inspired sometimes is just I'm watching videos on how to build my business or how to build my YouTube channel. And I'm like, and I have this guy in my camera that now I feel like I know him, like Sean Cannell from Think Media, because I always listen to his stuff. And he tells me, just press record, just get up and do this video idea. And I'm like, I get up and he's like, try stuff. You you did it, you never reviewed a product, do it. I'm sure in your niche, like as a data analyst or whatever, you could review anything. Like I have a desk here, I have a standing desk, I have a microphone, I have a mouse that I bound keys to, that I can go faster in Excel with. Let's review these products. And so it gives me a lot of ideas, trying stuff, talking head video, live streaming. So i just I just try it, and it's not the best. Like the quality is really bad sometimes. I'm like, I'll get better. I'll get better. Eventually, I'll be out there and I'll be like top quality and stuff. But I need to learn, and I love to always say like I actually I subscribed for to run a marathon in next October. But I'll have to practice, because if I want to run a marathon tomorrow, I won't be able to. Yeah, I won't be able to. I'll get injured and stuff. So before running your marathon, get some practice, and that's it for the videos idea as well. Like you can, if you just never do it, try your ideas. Your first ideas will be bad, and then it's gonna get better with time, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's a good application for those folks that are just learning data as well and trying to build out projects. So just try things. You're learning. It's a whole learning process. So if you just try it, build it out, share what you're building with others, then you will set yourself up to be able to run that marathon.
100% agreed. Yeah.
Well, are there any other final words of encouragement or recommendations that you have for the listeners out there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really, yeah, and it's gonna be straight from my heart, but I would say follow your dreams. Like, no, but for real, like recently I left my full-time job, and I'm really grateful because it's not everyone that can do this. Like I got a financially it was fine. Like the timing in my life was perfect. But and it's still pretty new. Like it's been 3 or 4 months. Actually, it's going fast. Yeah, 4 months already that I started doing that. So words of encouragement, I would say follow your dreams, never doubt yourself, and if you're trying to build something, whatever it is you're doing, like you're whatever, just go all in, believe in yourself, and be true to yourself as well. Like don't try to play this game because it is how it works. I mean, yes, you need to play the game, but stay true to yourself while doing it. I think it's important, because if you win the trophy but you won it for, let's say you're a musician, you did an album that's really not you, that your team pushed you to do this album, and like, oh, we really want you to do this, but in your inner self you didn't really feel like doing it. You did it, you won the trophy. What's the point? What's the point? So listen to your little voice inside. If you can do it, take some risk. You won't be disappointed, I think. Can you relate a little bit with that? Because I know you just started your thing a year ago, I think, or maybe a little bit more, but can you relate with that?
Yeah, definitely. Just stay focused with your mission, your passions, and don't let the haters in.
Yeah, and actually, and that's good that what you just said, because I had something happening like on Monday which literally killed my vibe, and it was like a bad comment on like, oh, whatever. I don't want to get into much details, but it was someone that really hated on podcasts for some reasons. And I just started my podcast and I actually invited this person. But this person, instead of saying, no, no, I don't feel like it, just went on a rant on podcast. Like, yeah. And I was, as this person was telling me this, I was actually editing a podcast and it just killed all my motivation. So what I just said earlier, it's true, but you can also have some bad days. That's fine. And I just saw something like a few minutes ago, like if you have 35% available this today and you give 35%, then you're giving your 100% for this specific day. And I think that's important as well. Like you need to know when to rest and when to hustle, because both are as important as each other, you know. So don't let haters, whatever you're doing, don't let one bad comment for 99 great comments hurt your feelings, but it always hurt. And when I was in gaming, because I had a Twitch channel before that, which I was wearing, or is it the pig hat right here? So it's all the brand, and I was getting a lot of hate. Like, what is this pink thing on your head? It's disgusting. And I was like, that's me, you know, like you can just turn off the stream and get away from here, you know. And here I'm being corporate saying those words, like you can
Mhm.
get out of here. So yeah, but it can hurt sometimes, but believe in yourself and be surrounded by people that actually cheer you up. And yeah, that's the encouragement words I would say.
I love that. Awesome. Well, if there are any folks out there that have any questions for you, David, where can they find and or follow you?
I go by Piggy Bank Accountant on YouTube. If you want to learn French, there is a French channel as well. But I would suggest you to go in the English channel maybe for now. Go on LinkedIn by David Fortin, CPA. You can reach out. Feel free to book a chat. I really like to talk with people always, and just write in the YouTube comment below this video, in the LinkedIn comment below this video. We're gonna have a discussion if you want to know more about my career path, the mistakes I made, whatever, how I do my workflow, my processes, everything. I'm super transparent and I love to talk with people.
Amazing. Well, thank you again so very much, David, for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much, Monica, for having me.
And as always, folks, happy learning.